Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions. It's episode 130. 130. That is a lot. It's also 2030. We're a long ways into the game, and the age-old problem with this game is about to strike, and about to strike hard. There's been suggestions. Thank you, Dash Pedersen, for your suggestion on this one, on a way to keep us going another season. But I've come to a very difficult decision. I thought about this a lot. I am not going to cheese the game. I am not going to go sign the final 5-star rider, who's just barely 5-star, that is available to a 1-year contract, and stall him or store him away without racing him just because he's non-African, but gives us just enough to stay in Continental Pro and keep us going. I'm not going to do it. We're going to take our chances. We're going to play this legit. We're going to hope. And it's okay. It's okay if it doesn't happen. If we don't make it, if we get relegated to Continental, it's going to be series done. We're 130 episodes in. We're 2 months away from starting the next PCM cycle and the next PCM series. We're 130 episodes in, 3 episodes a week, nonstop, month after month after month, and I have not taken a break from this game in years. If we've extracted all there is to extract out of this series, and we come to a natural end because our team is only good enough to be in Continental, then our team's only good enough to be in Continental. And that does not mean that we've failed, because here's what we have done so far in this series. This is going to be brief because I want to get back to racing La Vuelta. We have gained points, right? The two primary objectives of this series are to build a continent, build Africa, and then be competitive with Africa. We've gained 9 points. We should have gained more. There's been multiple occasions throughout this series where we've claimed victories that could have seen a popularity boost for nations and then didn't get them. There's been multiple occasions where a rider has finished in the rankings high enough and the training rating didn't improve. A year ago, PCM23, it was automatic. If you reached a threshold, you got the rewards. PCM23, they changed it to be a chance. And without it being automatic, well, it's been harder because we've been passed on many times where we could have earned points. That alone has slowed the development rate down a lot. Likewise, despite the popularity levels, despite the training levels of many of our nations, there just haven't been the riders coming through into the database. We've had a really, really bad luck. For example, a nation like Japan has high popularity and very, very low training ratings in this game, a 2. Yet there are world-class 5.5-star Japanese riders in this database. We've had bad luck. Yet, despite all that, I've gained 9 points for the various nations. Some of that coming from Gurmai, but the rest coming from us. And then there's the secondary objective. We spent most of the season ranked number 1. Grand Tours came. We're not as competitive as we could be or should be there. We can get top 10s, but we can't crack top 5 or podiums when it comes to GC. And so the big point hauls that come in there have seen us drop down a little bit. But even now, we are right on the edge of the top 3. And we're comfortably top 5. But we'll see how that is after La Vuelta with Jumbo-Visma, the Gruppetto, behind us, breathing down our neck. Regardless, we have proven that Africa can be competitive amongst the world's best. I'm happy with that. And if it ends at the end of this season and us getting relegated to Continental, then so be it. I will accept that is the circumstance, and I'll take a couple month break from PCM and come back. It's not all negative. There is absolute positive beyond just us having had some successes. We might not be done this season. Coming into next season, right now, we have 10 riders in our 4.5-star club. And I've been keeping a close eye on that 4.5-star club since the 2028 season. So for 3 years now. In the 2028 season, 8 riders entered the 4.5-star club. 8. And before the end of that season, Mason Samuels entered the 5-star club. Last year, 2029, only 4 riders. This year, just 2. Now, there's more than one reason for it. One reason is we accumulated the young riders with potential that were in the database a long time ago. We signed them and we developed them. And so for a lot of them to start reaching their potential at a similar time frame made a certain amount of sense. Now, we've got all of them that exist, and all we have is new young riders coming in, or the leftovers of previous seasons that I didn't sign. So we only have one new 18-year-old coming in. One new top high potential prospect. We've really picked up the bottom end of our team. We have nothing worse than a 3-star rider. We've gotten deeper. As they level up, the gaps between levels gets bigger and bigger and bigger. As they approach their potential, there's less and less for them to gain. So seeing more top-end talent over time, it's going to inevitably dry up. It's just how the system works, especially when we're not going out and signing riders outside of Africa. But the reality is, within our 4.5-star club, I think 9 out of 10 guys have a fair amount of potential still remaining. We have managed to grow a couple riders to 5 stars. We have managed to grow 5 of these riders more than once after reaching 4.5 stars. So there's still more levels out there. There's still more guys to reach 4.5. There's still more that these 4.5-star guys can do. And like I said, really only 1 out of these 10 is about done when it comes to leveling up. It just slows down. We shouldn't really be getting less than about 4 a season with and around the club. And yes, we've lost riders. We're losing Roteasir this year. Yes, we've lost riders in the last year or 2, but none of them were top 3 level. And none of them had much potential left. Kind of a reason why we selected those particular riders to let go and move on from. We are due. We are massively overdue for a big level up. And there is still chance, there's still time, there's still hope that it could happen in the next month and that it extends us for 1 more year. Because the reality is, with just 2 months till the next PCM anyway, that would be it. 1 more season, regardless. What is there to do next season? Well, the new faces aren't going to be game changers, and there's not much room for growth, and it's happening rather slow at the top, so it would be another year of the same sort of thing we're doing now. I hope we get it, but I'm content with us not getting it. We're only on stage 15, but after today, when we ascend the Angleroo, there's only a single mountain stage following this one. So while we still have a week of racing to do, only 1 more mountain stage. So the GC is going to largely be decided over the next 2 days. This is a big climb. Gaps are expected, and this is going to be an incredibly hard stage. We'll come back to that in just a second. But tomorrow is a punchy time trial. That's going to be a pretty decisive one as well. But that's going to be it for fireworks for at least a few days. And actually tomorrow is the rest day. The day after is that time trial, stage 16 though. The other difficult part about today's stage is that it's only 112 kilometers in length, beginning to finish. Right now we're trying to take it easy, trying to expend as little energy as possible. These are the hardest stages to compete in. Because of the intensity from beginning to end, you can't conserve energy. You can see just how tired our guys are already, even though we're still just 60k into the stage. That expenditure of energy is really hard to overcome, and we're going to have to push even harder on the next climb to hold position. We're going to have to get water at the top of it for the one and only time today, but it's a very difficult ask. 6k to go to get to the top of this one, 8%. This is a hard climb, and look, how quickly these guys are draining, even though they've got domestiques helping them. Speaking of domestiques, they're not going to be here for long at all. Let's go ahead and gel up Tony as well to try to give us a little more. The breakaway of 16 is shattered, and most of them are coming back towards the group. Let's take a second before something bad happens. We still have 3K to go, and I need to know what's going on with at least the 4 key guys. And Arab is obviously best placed, but the other 3 are not doing too bad. They are okay position-wise. We've got 100 left in the peloton, just 3 of 16 left at the front, and this is thinning out very quickly here. All right, taking another second to make sure, because this is happening very quickly. This is still considered peloton. Matoni, Henoch, De Villiers all going out the back. Let's go ahead and put them on auto. And the separation might happen here. Barta is keeping us just about in this Soler, right? I mean, we got big time guys. Padun, Rivera, all going out the back. Fortunato going out the back already. That's how intense this is. We've got 58 riders, and now we can see that Banuna's going to be going out the back. He's the last domestique. Clote is just hanging on. We're okay. We are okay. It'd be nice if Banuna is still in contact as he can get the water, but he's out along with Guerrero. That means Clote needs to be the guy to get water. I'm going to do so right now. 45 riders left. That's it. Looks like a couple riders might have attacked because there was 3 left off the front, right? Gall, Bardet, Leonardi, and then Ortega and Ploche. Depends on where he's from on how that's going to be pronounced, but Clote. Everybody has water? How'd that happen? Banuna back in contact. Banuna don't know how to go downhill. Okay, 48 chasing 3. We're back in that scenario, and we are going to, well, obviously Banuna's taking care of these guys, but out of them, Benny. We want to try to protect. This has got to be all in for Arab. Janssen. Okay, breakaway's been caught. We got 51 riders and 2 climbs to go. Assess our situation. Slow it down for just a second. Don't rush. Don't want to make mistakes. Okay, 5.5K for this one. 9%. It's steep. It's going to do damage. There is going to be at least a little bit of recovery before we head towards the Angleroo. And we are now set for 2 liters, and we've got to start holding that position even better than before. Banuna's already used his gel, and Clote, we will see early on what the pace is like. And right now it's not too bad, but we are seeing a potential acceleration. No. Janssen. 83 and struggling to hold position. He's got to push harder. Clote. We're seeing kind of alternating accelerations, but it's inside 2K, and everybody's kind of hanging on here. Clote might just hang on to this thing. And there's the big acceleration. There's 4 riders. Let's see who. Rubio, Ploche, Leonardi, Ortega. Okay, this is like a KOM. It is. 4th. 8th, 12th, 2nd. Pellizzari. Pellizzari is 6th overall. But that's a KOM attack. Clote, sit. Sit on. Down to 34 riders. Plus the 5 that just attacked. But this got Clote over the top. We'll get him back in position here shortly. Let him get some recovery first. Okay, put him back on protection. Gives me 4 for the final climb. So far, so good. And a very small peloton of 34, or count those extra 5. They're 1 minute ahead. Pellizzari is obviously the one to watch out for, and he's sitting on, not working at the moment. But we know at least 4 of those guys attacked purely for the KOM points. Okay. At the base, Arab. Not quite fully recovered. Janssen looking a little bit better. Arab's got a +3. It's an okay day on that part. Janssen looking strong. That's that medium mountain, and I don't know, strong descent. What? Why is he looking so good today? But where did our protection for Arab go? No wonder. Wrong guy was getting protected. See, there you go. Didn't want to make mistakes, made one anyway. Okay, this is the tail end of the group. It wasn't even blinking red, even though I was going at normal speed. But I pause, and suddenly it's like, wait, they're going fast. 12K climb at 10%, and they're climbing fast and hard. That's the nature of a 112K kind of stage, and this just hurts. Okay, Claude's done. Biniam Messias is going to now protect Arab and Gel. And Janssen needs to follow. And then we will just focus on Arab. His position is okay. The group is thinning. Clote has been dropped amongst a few other guys. Bagioli, Clark, 78 Mountain. You got Gonzalez and Storer and Bardet and Kastelik. Alright, Pinter all going out the back. Miholjevic. And we're down to 23. And you got a couple guys left here who are definitely not contenders, but that is Gregoire in 7th and Petrovic in 4th. That will elicit a response for sure. Biniam Messias is still just about giving us protection. 7K, that's 2 more guys on the attack, and it looks like the field's maybe sitting up. Ayuso from 3rd. Vingegaard, oh man, the wreck. So just before I started the recording, the major Basque Country crash just happened within the last hour, and just shortly before I started recording, Vingegaard on a stretcher going into an ambulance. I have no idea beyond that because it's literally just happened, but I wish him and all those involved, there was a lot of pretty serious injuries there, wish them the best, hope they're okay, and I fear for his Tour de France for sure. But that is, where is our race leader? There's Pellizzari back in the group. There's Vlasov. We are not the ones that should be chasing. This needs to be Rodriguez and his guys, and there you go. Okay. 7K to go, and Arab is looking awfully soft at this point. This is not the kind of day or the kind of stage to be the responder. Not with what we have. This is a burn through your teammates and stay alive as long as possible. Biniam Messias, he will fade from contention here shortly. Otto, and then now we go to Janssen, Gel, and Protect. 5.8K. Arab, let's back off a little now that we've got the position secured. So we're chasing 4. There's 15 here. That's the last 19 in contention. Biniam Messias out the back. He's 106th overall. I'm paused. Not worried about this. Clote is 22nd overall and well down already. He's already 4 minutes behind these guys. The acceleration is where? Nothing. So this is Carlos Rodriguez doing the dirty work himself, which is helping us out. Definitely helping us out. Janssen onto that Gel. We're down to 12. Let's get caught up on what's going on back here. Again on pause because there's a big chance that you miss something. So Fortunato, there's Gall who was in the break. There's Enrique Mas. Left in the group of 12. Positions are what I'm paying attention to. Stalker, Pellizzari. Of course, Pellizzari did that attack on the last one that could hurt him. We're looking at mostly guys outside of the top 10, but there's Vlasov, Vine, of course, Arab in 8th, Janssen 17th. He's one of the highest placed here. Rodriguez, of course, that's now 3. Gregoire 4, Petrovic 5, Vingegaard is 6, Ayuso 7 riders that we are looking at top 10 kind of guys. Plus Arab makes it 8. That means there's already a couple of top 10 riders missing, and this group is continuing to thin out as another rider has been dropped. That one being Frigo, who's 15th and the KOM leader. Leonardi also dropped, so down to 10 in the group. And it just split in half. Ortega, Wells, Stalker, who's 9th, the guy behind us in the standings. Pellizzari as well in 6th. Pellizzari's time is 4:59. Arab just over a minute behind. Janssen is down to his last ounce of energy. We're down to 3.4k. Arab has just a little bit left in the tank. Carlos Rodriguez is struggling to chase those front four. Those front four, once again, timing-wise, Gregoire is already ahead of us. They're all already ahead of us. Arab still has a little bit left to play with here for the end as Janssen gets dropped. Mr. 17th overall, this is looking good for him as he's 9th at the moment, 2.8k. Arab. Hold on to it, please, as we're dropping J Vine. 2.6k. Alright, we are now solo. Cut that heart rate down. We are 6th on the road? 7th. 7th on the road. 2.3k, but the energy is expended, so just give it your all to the top. Nothing more we can do for him here. Gap's definitely big to those guys, but not huge. We're holding it. We've got a full minute to anyone behind us. This is going to be a good stage. As far as things go, this is definitely a good outcome. This is going to help us affirm our position of 8th and possibly move us up. Gregoire takes the win ahead of Petrovic, and then Ayuso, Vlasov, Vingegaard, and Carlos Rodriguez. Sammy Arab gets 7th. Here is Stalker. Stalker's definitely losing time to us. Pellizzari, it's just over about a minute. We might still be just behind him, but J Vine, we're definitely distancing him. And then here is Janssen, who is next. Give him his last little push. He'll get the same time as Lucas Wells. There's Ortega. Benia Messias has 1 kilometer left to go. Clote is the one. Clote's 10 minutes down, so he's definitely not going to do well today. Arab 2:05 down. Top 6, definite strong advantage. But we do gain almost exactly 1 minute on 2 chasers, a little bit more on Vine, and then 2.5 minutes to anybody else. And there was definitely riders from the top 10 missing from this finishing climb. There were some guys that lost a big chunk of time. This was a good stage for Arab, not for hopes of a top 5, but for a top 10. It's a very good day. Looking in the general, that's Rodriguez still leading from Vingegaard by just 2 seconds. Ayuso 46, Petrovic 58, so top 4 really going to battle it out. But then Vlasov and Gregoire in the no man's land of 5-6. Gregoire jumping Pellizzari dropping to just 5 seconds ahead of us. His time trialing is poor, so Arab, unless he gets a -5 kind of draw, should be able to move into 7th place on this next stage. Then in touching distance is Stalker, but Stalker is 1.5 minutes down. He's okay for time trialist. We might be able to put a little bit of time into him if we can get him out to 2 minutes plus. I like our chances of a 7th place finish in this race overall. Vine actually moves up to 10th because Van Eetvelt lost a ton of time today. He was nowhere near the top end of the standings, and then it's another 5 minutes to the next rider down. So huge gaps there. Janssen stays 17th, even though he had such a good performance. He's a billion minutes ahead of Roner, 7, and 5 minutes from 14th. Janssen is not a time trialist either, though, so he is not going to be moving up. He's just got that nice cushion behind him. Clote dropped to 25th. He's a good enough time trialist to maybe move back up a little bit. He is high enough to get some points. Jansen's definitely good enough to get points, and Arab, we could be riding for 7th place now. And I think for a rider of his quality, which is maybe 14th, 15th best at this race, before we even throw in the attribute bonuses, meaning he's outside the top 20. When you add in those bonuses, he's probably outside the top 25 even. Of course, if you have a leader and you focus on a leader, you're going to naturally bring that leader up a little bit compared to where they are. When riders that support Rodriguez are going to lose more time because they work for them as opposed to work as a leader. Like, the trade-off, realistically, for a Continental team, we shouldn't be looking higher than about 11th to 15th. So 7th is going to be a very, very good race if we can pull that off time and time again. This, unlike the Tour de France, where we tried to bring the best support climbers, here, the only good support climber is Matoni, and he's been the one who's fatigued and has a negative race day condition every single day we've raced. So we've had limited support. We've had the few guys that are focused and are prepared and are getting the best, but even then, that just makes them okay support climbers. Arab's had decent race day conditions. It's helped keep him in it. It's helped keep him in this position, and I feel like a 7th is definitely possible at this point. That's going to do it for this episode, though. We've got 2 more stages to come in this La Vuelta. Other than some bypass stages, there is at least one hill stage that we're probably going to end up bypassing, so there's still a chance that that's going to throw a bit of a wrench. Pellizzari is strong, medium mountain, and punchy. Even just base, Pellizzari is significantly stronger than Arab, and we're, just 5 seconds away in a time trial away from getting a real solid boost. Once again, I will reiterate that I am happy with where we are at. Much needed rest day coming following this one, and with that time trial, as long as we still have our fitness peak for Arab for that, should be a good one and should get us up into 7th place. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.